Alright guys, time to grab me back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and today we're going to discuss what Clayster had to say a couple of days ago on the Bricecast, effectively calling out a number of his fellow main assault rifle players in the game, saying that they really weren't trying to win throughout Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and that's why at the end of the day he may have worse stats than them, but he's a world champion once again for the third time here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare on the Dallas Empire. Very interesting discussion. He kind of goes on to backtrack somewhat, but what he says is what he says, and I'm very intrigued to hear your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new. As always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you for doing that. Thought I'd start with this, which I thought was kind of entertaining. Like Envy did this new like home series drop or whatever, and you remember a few days ago Hastro was kind of calling out maybe 100 Thieves or some of the other organizations for being like a hoodie brand, not really trying to win. And a number of organization owners have said this about 100 Thieves in the past. Courage, of course, part of 100 Thieves. Now says another hoodie org. He's probably just like having a laugh about this, and Hastro kind of jokingly comes back at him. I thought this was a pretty entertaining way to start the video. Also to mention this, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War comes out in just 3 days time. As of yesterday it was 4 days time. Thought this was pretty interesting from BreakingPoint.gg. 4 days until Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Only 2 players have won in all 4 Black Ops titles, that being Scump and John. Who will make it 5 in a row? Is it going to be Scump? It's probably not going to be John, so you know, the torch lies with Scump to complete the job here in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Let's talk about this then. So as Bryce tweets out a couple of days ago, they all sat in a window and didn't do anything to try and help their team win on main AR stats in Modern Warfare. So I'll share this clip with you guys on Clayster talking about how his lead up to the World Championship, how he believes he could be a main slayer on his team, and how he believes in certain circumstances it's certainly the right play as a main assault rifle to fly out and get a trade so that the guy behind you can get your trades and help over on the hill. That seems pretty self-explanatory, but he says that a number of players in the league right now, and especially last season, were not doing this at all. That playstyle can work to some degree, but it's really not helping your team win, and at the end of the day, that's why Dallas Empire are world champions.
And when people say like, oh, you got carried, or you weren't a factor point, like I dropped a 0.98 and people are acting like I dropped a 0.5 or something, or 0.7. Like for me and the role that I play now, if I wanted to be the main slayer on a team, I genuinely feel like I could do it. I mean, if you look at the champs this year, when I was trying to slay hard, I slayed hard. Like, but there's a thing with KD, and let me give an example. There's, I'm main AR. I'm holding a lane that's pushing to a hard point. The other team's set up in the hard point. My teammate runs in ahead of me, dies. Now, I kill that guy that killed him. So my KD is now, infinite or whatever it is, because I'm 1-0. So I can then choose to stay in my exact position and just pre-aim, even though it doesn't help the team at all. I'm not applying pressure. I'm not going for hill time. I'm just pre-aiming till my second teammate runs by. He dies by a guy. I kill that guy. Now I have a 2.0. Okay, great. I have a 2.0 KD. But that's not how you should play as a main AR. When my teammate's in front of me, I'm following him. He dies. I get the trade. I jump into the hill and try and get a Kai weak for my third teammate behind me to then trade out. So now I'm 1-1. And so my KD is a 1, but I've made a play for the team. So now my third teammate gets a kill, then gets a 2-piece, then we get the hill control. So now the difference between a 2.0 and a 1.0 KD, oh, he's got a 2.0, he's doing better. No, the 1.0 KD is what just helped his team win the game, and is what it's helped his team succeed and is getting points.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. And a lot of people think like, oh, main AR, you should have crazy stats. Yeah, the main ARs had crazy stats this year, like Skies, Wuskin, Octane, because they all sat in a window and didn't do to help their team win, and that's no offense to those players. That strategy does work in 5v5, especially kill whoring does work in it some moments, but I've never been that type of player. I will never go for stats like that. I will never do something that never helps my team win. I'll never sit in an irrelevant location just to get kills. And that's why my KD looks the way it does. If I want to stat, I can stat. I can stat with the best of them, trust me. But I'm all about winning now, and I'm all about winning. And people are like, Clay's wasn't even a top 5 MWAR. It's like, what game were you watching? Like, yeah, I didn't have crazy numbers because I was trying to win the game every time. Like, and we had 3 tournament wins and a chance to win. We won 4 tournaments out of 9 this year. I think that's pretty good. Like, I don't think you could be below a top 5 AR. It's like, yeah. Shotzzy, amazing. Hook, amazing. Simp, amazing. All these players, they're so good. But I play my part in my team, how I should do it.
Okay, so let's dive into this in a little bit more detail here in terms of the statistics. I'm on breakingpoint.gg/stats. You guys can go into these databases when you like and, you know, in your own time. And I'll just make this so we can see kind of what's going on the hardpoint side. So this is Dallas. This is the entire season long. Shotzzy with a 1.1, Clayster with a 1.03. You can see in terms of main AR stats, Clayster's like nowhere near to be found, right? And Crimsix wasn't really a main AR this season. He used it right to the end. But at the start of the season, when it was kind of like a 4 SMG meta, Crim had to play in a, not exactly his preferred SMG role. Super impressive from Shotzzy as well to have a 1.1. You can see domination stats, you can see search and destroy stats. Clay had a 1.13 in search and destroy though, so fair play on that one. But what you can see is that from main assault rifle, the last few years already we've seen, like, if your main assault rifle is somewhere in the 1.1, 1.15 range, maybe even 1.2, then like you're in a great spot, right? But you don't want your assault rifle KD to actually be too high, because when it's too high, it largely means that you're playing as Clayster described. You're just sitting in a window, you're playing for kills, you're not actually playing for the win in that sense, and that's a pretty big deal. So interesting to see. I think Clay did have like a 1.15 or something at the World Championship, but the entire season long he had a 1.03, and Dallas was still like the dominant team of the season, winning 4 events. So let's look at another team, for example. I guess we can just bring up Atlanta by comparison. We can see Major Maniac with a 1.1, very similar, to be honest, team dynamic here, quite frankly, with Simp on the 1.11. Major Maniac is technically the main AR, sell him kind of as that flex role in this situation. But let's look at another team that didn't do so well, the likes of, let's just say, Seattle, because he talks about Octane specifically in that clip. And as you can see here, this is the hardpoint stats the entire season long. We see very similar things in domination, but as you can see right here, Octane with a 1.31 the season long in hardpoint. The rest of his team entirely negative. I believe Proto as well. I mean, you can see Proto here and Enable. I mean, Panda, not with the best stuff. Octane has a 1.3. They don't really get anything done. I mean, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen right here, like all their placings, you can only see kind of half of them, but yeah, not the best result. Last place, of course, at the World Championship, and a very similar thing in domination, right? So you can see that Octane's absolutely frying in terms of the scoreboard, but Clayster thinks like he's just sitting in a window playing for kills. And while that playstyle can work to some degree, especially in 5v5, he's not really getting in the nitty-gritty and actually getting the trades of his team to help the rest of his team perform. And I think it's very arguable. You saw a similar thing with London this season. I mean, at the World Championship where they actually came top 4, that was Waskin's worst event of the entire season, I believe, statistically, whereas early season, as you can see right here, like over the course of it, he dropped to 1.18. Early season, he had like a 1.4. Maybe it's no surprise then that Dylan has like a pretty rough year this year compared to what he's used to, given the fact that maybe Waskin is the guy sitting in the window getting the 2-piece going 2-0, whereas Clayster's the guy going 1-1, hopping out the window, and as he described in that clip as well. He also mentioned Skies. I thought it was interesting to mention Skies, given the fact that, yes, when we look at the statistics, he had a 1.28 this season, 1.24 in domination. I mean, their domination team was absolutely phenomenal. Like, have a look at this, right? I mean, yeah, Frosty and Havoc are technically negative, but I mean, like, these guys were unbelievable in their dominations this season, especially St. Petrograd. Like, they seem never to really lose that map, and you can actually probably see their records here on the left-hand side, like domination on St. Petrograd 9-2. It's a pretty impressive run on that. So while this may look somewhat similar to the other teams, at the end of the day, some of the other players alongside Skies are actually still performing right. This doesn't look exactly like it looked on Seattle when everyone's getting destroyed apart from Octane, whereas in this case, it seems like, Havoc and Frosty are being able to kind of help the rest of their team actually have decent numbers as well. But kind of interesting to see. And of course, at the end of the day, Mutiny's actually won 2 events this season, or actually won 3 events, sorry, at Dallas, Minnesota, and the Paris home series. So Skies maybe isn't quite in the same category as Octane and Waskin, you could argue, but still very interesting, and I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Thought I'd mention this, talking about Skies. He tweets this out: "Hey roommate, had awakening." Just kind of, we don't have an official confirmation from Florida as yet, but I imagine that Skies awakening, Pharaoh and Havoc is going to be the team for next season, so I imagine only a matter of time until that is confirmed. Thought I'd mention this as well, given Black Ops COD War is just around the corner. Clayster says, still some of the most fun I've had on opening night tournaments in COD, hoping to repeat it this year. As you can see, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th of October last year, dominating all these S&D kickoffs. I imagine a similar thing coming this year. And as he says, we actually just took everyone's money for 3 days straight, and the shots he comes back with, that was all you guys. I was just there for moral support and your bomb plant. So, obviously improved drastically throughout the latter half of the year. I thought I'd finish off with this pretty entertaining clip from last year, given the fact that potentially the Chicago Huntsmen Chicago Optic news is coming in the coming days. This is, when Nadeshot leaked what the Huntsmen branding was going to be on stream about this time last year. And yeah, pretty entertaining to look back on. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
We bringing the team back or what?
Dude,
Absolutely not.
Well, bro. Well, yeah, never mind. Absolutely not.
I feel like I can be like a sub for the Huntsmen.
The what?